Wilson Sports Arena. And with what happened today, I had to bring this guy on because this has probably been the quietest Patriots guy I have had the pleasure of knowing. Is my brother, Dr. C's in the building, Craig Cusson. And Craig, let me just say this before we even get started.
Okay.
I figured when Brady went to Tampa, I would hear from you. Nothing. Yep. Now Gronk makes his way here today. And I was like, I had to get Craig on the phone because I was like, dude, what is going on, man? First off, how are you?
Well, what besides everything that's going on? I mean, 2020 is literally bizarro world. Let's be honest. Everything that's going on, with the pandemic and then with everything in the NFL, everything, just in general. Everything's backwards. This is just the craziest time, the last 3 to 4 months that I can say in a while at least. I've had a pretty rough 3 years. So, but at the same time, now this is rough for everybody. So, in the sports world, though, it's just nuts to be a Patriots fan, a longtime Patriots fan, growing up a Patriots fan. From the Drew Bledsoe era to the Tom Brady era, pretty much all I've known is Tom Brady, like 20 plus years. So, my first thought first off, I thought all the rumors were bogus. I thought he would never leave. He was going to re-sign. So I heard all the rumors, but, you just ignore the noise because there's rumors every offseason. So, but, looking back to my crystal ball, I know that there were signs along the way. I just, as a Patriots fan, you never want to believe that the greatest player in NFL history, the GOAT, he's going to leave the franchise. And, but I always said, like, if he did, and he did, there's only one place I would ever want him to play, and that's here because it's a 40-minute drive to the stadium. So I can see him live 8 games a season if I want to. So just crazy. I mean, so many great memories, from the Super Bowls to the AFC Championship games, going to see, Brady live in Foxborough with friends and family. You got to cherish the moments. And, as far as everything that he brought to the organization, it's going to be unmatched. Never going to see it again. So, you can dwell on, oh yeah, now he's in Tampa, I can't believe what, or you can just say, hey, listen, 20 plus years of that, never going to happen again. So I'll take that. And, but I had to sit back and kind of, decompress a little bit. But now a month has passed by, or 3 weeks or whatever it was. And then this today. So
yeah, and that's what I see. Here's my thing. As someone who has been with you watching Patriot games, and as someone who has lived with you watching Patriot games, I figured you would have been one of the most vocal people when he came to Tampa, and you didn't say anything. But I knew today, the fact that Gronk got signed, what was your initial reaction?
Listen, he said he's coming out of retirement. He said he's not. He's been playing this game for years now. And, he's always said if he's ever going to play with he doesn't want to play another quarterback. It's going to be Tom Brady. So I leave one option. He doesn't want to come back and play for New England. People are going to say they're in rebuilding mode. I have a second thought on that. So I'm not going to go just strictly to rebuild. But when you go to Tom Brady and then you have a rookie, second-year player in Jarrett Stidham essentially, or a rookie, depending on what they do in the draft, or bringing a veteran player, it's a lot different. So Gronk, he's put his body on the line for how many years now? He has a lot of injuries. He wants to have fun. He doesn't want to play for Belichick anymore. It's too strict. So what better fun than to go play with someone that you built a rapport with down here. But, all the logistics had to fall into place. First off, he had to say, hey, I'm coming out of retirement. Second off, he had to be like, I'm not playing for anybody except Tampa. Can you get a deal done? And a deal got done, and lo and behold, today. But it's crazy, 2 of my favorite players of all time now playing here in Tampa Bay. And now that leaves me, obviously a little bit of sour taste as a lifelong Patriots fan. But at the same time, again, that Buccaneers offense is going to be ridiculous, and I get to see it over here. So,
dude, it's sick just to think about, you've got Brady, you've got Gronk, you've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard. Do they need a run game? I mean, seriously, do they need a run game?
Question. If they get some offensive linemen, no, they don't need a run game. Of course, a run game helps, but gosh, I mean, you would think that they're going to pass probably 70% of the time. With that, he has such a good rapport with Gronk. And what people don't understand with Gronk is he's an exceptional blocker. So it's like an extra offensive lineman when he's on the field. He opens up the play action game. He's just a beast over the middle, one-on-one matchups. people are going to say, oh, yeah, he's old, he's injury prone, hasn't played in a while. He's already up to 260. He's healthy. He passes physical. Let's be honest, he's not going to come back. Plus, we still have months before any football is going to be played. All right. We're just getting to the draft this week. Minicamp, I'm assuming, probably won't open with everything going on. Hopefully, training camp does. Then you got the preseason, then the regular season. So, fast forward to 3 months, Gronk's going to be Gronk. Okay. And it's crazy. I was just talking to somebody. It's like, imagine Gronk here in Tampa Bay. What's he going to be? On the pirate ship, Gronk spiking with a julep cup, drinking with an eye patch and a bandana. I mean, this dude, it's going to be ridiculous. I can just see it now.
So I got to ask you now, did you inquire or have you purchased season tickets for this season?
Yes, I am a season ticket holder.
Wow.
As of when Brady signed. So I am a season ticket. And people have asked me, like, what's going on? Are you going to – and I have been a Patriots fan my entire life, but I've also been a Tom Brady fan for his entire career, a Gronk fan. So, yeah, I'm going to root for those players. So this will be – and I can honestly say it, and I've never, ever thought I would ever say this. I'm going to root for 2 teams this year for the first time ever. And it feels weird to say that. And I always used to make fun of people. How the hell do you have 2 teams? But I guess if in circumstances, now I know. Now I know people that follow LeBron in the NBA. Like, they're just LeBron lovers. So, yeah, they're Cleveland. They might be a Cleveland Cavalier fan, but they followed him in Miami. They're following him in LA. Same thing with Jordan, a little bit less because he went to the Wizards. But, at the same time, like, those great players don't come along. So I can understand now why people follow him for that long.
Hey, listen, I did it when Dawkins left and went to Denver, and I was thankful he went to the AFC, but yeah, there will never be another Brian Dawkins. So when he left, and I had the opportunity to meet him, in Orlando, and I was just like, man, you are truly missed in the city, and he knew it. But I get it, man. I want to ask you, did you watch the documentary The Last Dance?
I did. So first 2 episodes came out.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I stayed up. I know I heard you say it too. I stayed up past my bedtime because I had to work the next day. Phenomenal. You just, when documentaries come out like that, you really realize how much of that old school basketball and grit mentality that you miss that you don't get in today's NBA. Just the defensive effort that you put in a day out basis. The stars that were on every team. The atmosphere, and the documentary portrayed what went on behind the scenes, and how we knew Jerry Krause and what he did, but you didn't realize he basically just Phil Jackson. He's the one that brought him in, but yet he said if you 82 games, if you go 82-0, you're still out of here. I mean, and then to have the audacity to come and coach that team at that point, knowing you're gone after the season, or the owner, GM, they don't like you, that's crazy. You have to put aside a lot of personal thoughts in that situation, and they were able to do that. I can't wait for episodes, obviously, 3 through 10. But God, Scottie Pippen, that whole story, and I didn't realize how he went from an equipment manager. You forget all those little details, over time. So equipment manager to really working at his craft, growing about 6 inches, and he's a 5th overall selection, and then signed a terrible deal, 2 years or 7 years, $2 million per at that point in time. He ended up getting paid and making more money than Jordan did in his NBA career. You know that, right?
Yeah, outside all that. Yes. Yeah, with the endorsements and everything. Yep.
So he got his eventually, but God, that team was so good back then. And, I can't wait. It got me – honestly, I just want to go grab a basketball out of my garage and walk down to the park and just start playing again, man. I need to oil up the old knees like Tin Man.
Dude, I'm like you. I thought the same thing. After watching that, I was like, man, I'm getting on my bike. I'm riding over to Craig's basketball court. I'm serious, man. I just want to start shooting again. So, all right, I have to ask you this because the draft is coming up on Thursday. And, man, thank you so much.
There's something to look forward to sports-wise, right?
Thank God. Hey, you guys right now hold pick 23.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? You going to trade down? What are you guys going to do?
Listen, it's always a mystery when Bill's at the helm. Never know what he's going to do. And this year even more than maybe others, because what are we doing? Are we rolling with Jarrett Stidham? I don't know. He's a cheap option. Drafted him in the 4th round last year. Auburn showed some promise. Liked him in preseason last year. He actually played a better preseason than Garoppolo did when he was here. It's a lot of promise. But again, what pieces do you have around him? Edelman, you drafted N'Keal Harry in the 1st round last year. He was injured half the year. I'm looking for a big bounce from him this year. But you have a lot of pieces that you have to put in place, and you're limited on cap space. You got a lot of dead money. So do you bring in a vet like Cam Newton and pay him very small amount? Would he sign a 1 year, 10 or 8 or $5 million deal, and then you work around the cap? Or do you trade for an Andy Dalton that's still under, I think, the last year of his contract? Or do you bring in a Jameis Winston and maybe wouldn't that be something else where Brady goes and then Jameis is under there and Belichick's trying to coach Winston? I mean, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are unsigned right now in free agency and good ones. So I'm not sure if they're going to go that route. I personally don't think they're going to go quarterback in the first round. If they did, it would be a Tua that somehow slips. And if he does, then that's on all those teams before him.
Right.
I don't see it happening. I personally like a couple quarterbacks, but I wouldn't draft him in the first. I like Jake Fromm out of Georgia. I think he's better than what a lot of people. I'm higher on him than a lot of people. Run first offense in Georgia. They didn't really pass the ball down the field too much, but when they did, he did have an arm. So I think he'd be pretty good for what they like to kind of groom there, unless they want to just switch gears and go to an athletic quarterback. But at pick 23, there's talk of, Alabama safety, McKinney at that position. I really like him. He has a rapport with Nick Saban down there in Alabama. And as you know, we just traded Deron Harmon to the Lions. So there's a void there. Patrick Chung's not getting any younger. Neither is Devin McCourty, even though he re-signed. Linebacker position, Zach Bond, I believe, out of Wisconsin. That's been a popular name that's been thrown around. I like his versatility. Also, AJ, I think his name is, Epinesa? I can never say that last name.
Oh, yeah.
With a defensive end. We've had some discussions with him. So those are all possibilities. Again, I wouldn't even mind drafting another first-round wideout and surrounding, if we do decide to go with Stidham, those two bookends, back-to-back first-round wideouts, which Belichick hasn't drafted a first-round wideout before last year in 10-plus years, so I don't expect it to happen. But, at 23, what if somebody does slide? Like Patterson, I assume, might be there. That might be an okay pick. But
yeah. I don't know, man. I've done probably 2 or 3 mock drafts, and in one draft I actually have you guys flipping with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Picking up from hold on, let me see here. Oh, from TCU, Ross Blacklock.
Yeah.
I have you guys picking him up. In another one, I have you staying at 23, and I actually have you guys picking up, like you said, picking up another weapon. I have you picking up the kid Higgins, T. Higgins from Clemson, wide receiver.
Love him. And again, it's like if I expect CeeDee Lamb, Judy, Ruggs to be gone by then,
Right.
Unless we love one of them and somehow, we package some picks and go up. You never know with Belichick. Typically he likes to trade down if he's going to trade, but he's gone up for Gerard Mayo in the past. He's gone up for a Vince Wilfork, I believe, in the past. So if he likes you, he will go up and get you. But it's a wild card with Bill. You never know, and that's what makes the draft exciting. I'm super excited. It is a star-studded draft, from who's going to go up and try to get Tua. Are they higher on Herbert? What's the Dolphins going to do? They have 3 first-round picks. Steelers have, I believe, 2 first-round picks. The Raiders have 2 first-round picks.
No, the Steelers don't. The Steelers don't have any picks in the first round.
They don't?
No.
Who am I thinking of? The Raiders, I know. They have 2.
The Raiders have 2. Miami has 3. Let me see. Who else is it?
Maybe I'm being mistaken with everything, with one other team. I thought
Jacksonville has 2.
That's who I was thinking of, yeah. So, there's a couple of teams that have multiple first-round picks. So they have a lot of leverage on whether they just want to stay pat and draft a couple of solid players or move up and down in the draft and kind of control the draft, to be honest. And, as you know, one of our proteges went to Miami, so that could play into potential trades now where usually you don't see in division trades a lot. But build rapport relationships, if you're trying to strengthen a team, you can do that now. So I don't completely rule that out.
Last question, and then I am going to let you go here. So your division now is kind of in an upheaval, if you will, because for, like you said, 2 decades, it's been Patriots and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Honestly, crystal ball it for me right now, Miss Cleo. You got to give me a prediction. What are you guys going to do this year within your division? Where do you think you're going to place?
Before the draft and before free agency's open?
Yes.
I mean, there's Clowney and Everson Griffin. All these people are available still. Not that we're probably going to get any of them, but there's still a lot of typically in a typical year, these free agents would be gone before the draft. You'd have a second or third wave, but it wouldn't be the wave that's still out there. but there's a lot of people that haven't been able to take physicals. Travel's been an issue, that type of stuff. So there's a lot of good free agents still out there. Ballpark it, 12-4 last year with the defense that we lost some pieces, Kyle Van Noy, Deron Harmon, but the core we're bringing back. Obviously, Tom Brady's gone. Gronk wasn't there last year, so that's not a loss from last year. So it all kind of depends on who's at the helm. But listen, they added another playoff team, right?
Yes,
so I got hopes that we will slide into that at least 7. God, I hate to say that, I think Buffalo has surpassed us, but I have to see who's at quarterback before I say yes or no on that. I'm going to give us a 9-7 record on the season. 9-7. I think it's being, I think with Bill, he can get us to that. I think they will drop off, obviously. No TB12 there. It's crazy. Can't believe it. This jersey here, not with the team anymore.
No.
This jersey.
Now, no.
Not
Wow.
with the team anymore. And now Gostkowski's still out there. Who knows? Tampa Bay needs a kicker. It's gonna be. Might as well call them Tampa Bay Patriots over there. Tampa Bay it is all the way, man. It's crazy. So again, I'm excited for my team. I don't think they're completely rebuilding. I'm also excited for, I guess, my other team now in the Tampa Bay Bucks, and it's gonna be a wild ride. Super excited about it. I mean that offense is gonna be so explosive. Obviously, they need to shore up a little bit on the offensive line, which I'm sure Tampa will. They have to draft offensive line in the first round, I would think, unless somebody crazy falls to them. I expect them to draft a pass-catching running back in the second round, and then they have to shore up that secondary. Corner safeties have to get some people in the later rounds for that. And then, the second wave of free agency hits. So, as for my team, obviously New England, because I just talked about the other team, they got some work to do. Who's going to be throwing who's going to be actually playing quarterback? Got to get another weapon on the outside, N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman. And as far as defense, get a safety. Our safeties are getting old, so linebacker position and defensive ends always the key in our system. So I'm excited. Let me ask you a couple questions since
Sure.
I've been, haven't talked to you. So I know that you're pretty high on Ruggs, and I think that you guys are, leaning towards receiver. But say he's off the board.
At 21,
Eagles targeting, and or who would you like to? Are you still stuck on having to go wide out in a deep wide out draft, or would you transition at that point?
No, I mean, first off, we need to get some weapons. Here's what I've heard, and this is some stuff that I've heard. Can't hold my feet to the fire on this one. I heard that we're talking with the Jets to give up Rasul Douglas and some later picks to go up and take the number 11 spot, which gives us first opportunity aside from the top 10 to get either a CeeDee Lamb, a Ruggs, a Justin Jefferson, a Judy, one of those 4 guys. My personal pick out of all those guys, I want CeeDee Lamb. That's my dude. I think he would fit.
But I think the Raiders are shooing to get Judy for some reason. When I picture Oakland, I picture Jerry Judy in an Oakland Raiders uniform.
Yeah. And so I think for us to go up and get him, listen, we lost Malcolm Jenkins, which I think was a complete – I still don't get that one. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But we did pick up Darius Slay. But here's the thing. Our offensive line, very much to what you're talking about, your safeties and your defense getting older. Look at my offensive line. Jason Peters is still out there. We lost Big V. So we need someone on that left side to protect Carson. And if Washington, which we all expect to get Chase Young, the Giants at number 4 could pick up another defensive or maybe an edge rusher. We've got to find somebody to protect Carson, or else this man's going to be flat on his back more times than I can even count or spit at. So that being said, do I want to get a highly touted offensive guy to protect Carson? Of course I do. But at the same time, Deshaun Jackson's getting old. I don't even know if Alshon, what his mental state is. I'm very thankful for Greg Ward.
He needs to stay on the field.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do.
I agree. But I will say this. The Raiders did us a huge favor by taking Aguilar off of my plate, so I ain't got to worry about him anymore. So, that being said, I think we should go wide receiver, but then I think we definitely need to beef up the rest of our draft because we only have 8 picks unless we find a way to collect more. We need to beef up our offensive line a little more, and we need to make sure that we shore up our defense because I'm sorry, Jalen Mills is not the answer. I've been saying that. I'll keep saying that. So if he's gone, good riddance.
What about some of these teams? Do you see any of these? I mean, the draft in itself is going to be huge, but at the same point, there's a lot of teams that have essentially said, hey, this person's available for the right price. You're talking about Leonard Fournette. I can never pronounce his other guy's name. Ngakoue. also in Jacksonville, defensive end. He's pretty much surefire trade at this point. They've talked about Jamal Adams. They talked about Odell Beckham Jr. Obviously with the Gronk signing now, I expect either O.J. Howard or Cameron Brate, one of the two.
Brate's gone. Brate's gone.
I mean, I expect one of two of them to be on the move based on value. Obviously, Brate makes more money, so that one makes more sense to clear a little bit more cap room, but you probably get more for O.J. Howard. So it's just a lot. I mean, I'm not even naming everybody that's kind of supposedly been on the trading block per se. So do you see anybody making a stab at any of these people, or do you kind of just want to sit back and see how it plays out?
Here's my thing. I would love for us, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I would love for us to find a way to go get Jadeveon Clowney. This man's willing to take less money because he simply wants to play. If we could find a way to shore up a little bit of cap space and bring him in, maybe on a 2-year deal, man, I would just
get out of here. I mean, you got enough in Fletcher Cox. We don't need both of them coming out of the quarterback.
That's what. See, man understands what I'm talking about. Put Fletcher on one side, put Clowney on the other, baby. Hey, I'll take back everything I said about him when he was playing in Houston. But, I don't know. There are a lot of big names, but I'm looking at defensive guys because I'm saying to myself, what has been our biggest Achilles heel right now? And it's been the defense. Our offensive weapons can't stay healthy. I get that. But that over time will fix and correct itself. Plus, with this wide receiving class in the draft being so deep, we're talking 20, 23 guys, we're going to find a gem in my estimation. So that's why I'm saying to you, and this year, you know what? I said this to Alex earlier, and let me say it to you. Everything this year is lining up for Tampa to win it all. Everything. I know it's crazy to say because it's but
can you imagine? Jeez.
To me, it's the perfect scenario for Tom Brady. You come to Tampa with the money you want, the weapons you want. You've got your tight end who you rely and trust on. You end your career as the first quarterback to not only play the Super Bowl in your home stadium, but win it.
Actually win it, yeah. He's already come on record to say he's motivated. He's excited. His team. I mean, he's probably has the best wide receiving core outside of 2007 in the Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Dante Stallworth years.
Right.
Ever had. Obviously, the Gronk, Aaron Hernandez, Edelman, that was a good one. But you got two 1,000-plus yard receivers on the outside. They can do all the route trees, go up and catch the ball if you throw it to them. Then you have Gronk across the middle. I mean, literally, who are you going to single cover? You have to double. You double somebody's single cover, and they're going to beat that almost every time. So if Brady gets time, if they shore up that offensive line, oh, my God, look out. I mean, I'm not going to predict anything as far as numbers, but I don't see how he doesn't throw 40 touchdowns. Seriously. In a Bruce Arians offense, and he ain't going to throw 30 picks. So, right. I mean, he might be on the higher side of his career with like 10, 12, 14. I don't see him throwing any more than that.
Okay. So that brings up a very interesting point because now with this Gronk trade officially happening and him signing on to be a Buccaneer,
it's crazy.
There are people who are like, okay, the division now belongs to Tampa, but there are still some who say you can't just write off New Orleans.
You can't. And you know what? I love what the whole division has done. It's not my division, but I know a lot about it.
We live here.
Yeah, exactly. But, the fact that New Orleans Saints signed Emmanuel Sanders, I think that was a perfect signing for them. They have Michael Thomas. They have still a top 15, 20 receiver in the league that can run all the routes underneath. He can still speed deep. He's a first down. He's a chain mover. And you have Michael Thomas on the other side to take a little bit of pressure off that. The Saints are going to be good this year. Let's not, there's no doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know how Tampa Bay's offense is going to be stopped. I don't, and I know there's still moving parts. And I don't know if they're all in on Ronald Jones. And maybe he gets in there and he does a lot better with Brady in a different system and really motivated than he's done in the past. He came on a little bit towards the end of last year. But if they go out and get a Leonard Fournette for $4.5 million a year, or they go out and get one of these pass catchers, catching running backs in the second, third round, I mean, that's all that's kind of missing outside of offensive linemen in that offense. It is going to be ridiculous if everybody stays healthy in that offense. And people are sleeping on Brady just because he's age. He can still throw the ball. I watched every single game last year. I broke down every single game. That's my team. That's my quarterback. And he still has a strong arm. And people are sleeping on him. So He's going to make all the throws. He's going to be smart with the football. He's going to throw the football into the ground, and you're going to be like, what was that? He just threw it in the ground. It's because he's not going to take that sack. He's not going to throw it into triple coverage for an interception. He's going to throw the ball out of bounds. So you'll see him throwing the ball away and making good decisions, and that's what he brings along with leadership to that offense. And, I'm excited to live here in the area and go to the games. And, I'm sure that we're going to go see a couple games together. Just moved into the new place. I'm going to get my sports room up and running. So I'm very excited, hopefully everything as far as this virus settles down, because, I'm excited for the New England Patriots football season and what Bill can do and the new regime coming in. And I'm also excited for Tampa Bay too. So I think it's just going to be a great season overall.
I agree. I'm ecstatic. I can't wait for Thursday. Listen, man, you got a standing invitation. If you want to join the Facebook Live event on Thursday, just holla at me and I'll definitely get you in when the Patriots make their pick at 23, or if they decide to, go up or come back down.
I'm an emotional person when I start watching drafts and games. I mean, it's completely different than my demeanor right now. So
that's what I said, man. Where is this guy? That's what I said. One of the quietest guys, man. But as someone who we have watched Super Bowls together, both good and bad for both of us. We have watched so many games together. It's so crazy that I did not hear from you. But man, thank you so much for chiming in. Give all my love to Pam, to Sophie Leonard, to Coco Zilla, and of course to Rick.
Hey, say hi to Peanut for me. Kathy.
I will. Hey, I'm gonna get you on the court as soon as this pandemic is over. I'm riding my bike over. We getting on the court.
That's it. We just need to pick up some oil for our knees and ankles.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor in the building, Dr. Craig Cusson, man. Thank you so much, brother. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you later.